Annie.
Good morning, Barbie. Phyllis, Laura, and Connie.
They're connecting.
Okay, we're live on YouTube.
Hi, Barbie.
Good morning, Dewey. How are you doing?
Good morning. How we doing this morning?
Good.
How are you?
Good.
Good, Dewey.
It's wet, but I love the cool weather.
It's cool.
My part.
Okay, getting ready to share screen.
Good morning. Good morning. Excuse me. Welcome to Unity of Kanawha Valley's virtual Zoom service. We're happy you're here with us this morning. We'll begin our service with the lighting of the Christ candle and the ringing of the bell. Rich? Thank you, Rich. And now if you'll speak with me.
Peggy's muted.
I'm sorry. We'll start again. So we've lit the Christ candle and we're saying our opening statement. We're holding that in our hearts. There's only one presence and one power in the universe and in my life. God, the good, omnipotent, And so it is. Thank you, God. And now our songs this morning will be led by Ron Soul, accompanied by Jeff Hott and Ryan Kennedy.
Hi, everybody. We're back with the Masked Marauders here, Ryan and Jeff, and we're going to start with Surely the Presence. Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place. I can feel his mighty power and his grace. I can hear the brush of angels' wings. I see glory on his face. Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place. Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place. I can feel her mighty power and her grace. There's a holy hush around us. I see glory on his face. Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place. This is one of my favorite times of the year. It's so beautiful. And so this song came to mind, For the Beauty of the Earth. For the beauty of the earth, for the glory of the skies, for the love which from our birth over and around us lies. Lord of all, to thee we raise this our hymn of grateful praise. For the beauty of each hour of the day and of the night, hill and vale and tree and flower, sun and moon and stars of light. Lord of all, to thee we raise this our hymn of grateful praise. For the joy of ear and eye, for the heart and mind delight, for the mystic harmony, linking sense to sound and sight. Lord of all, to thee we raise this our hymn of grateful praise. For the joy of human love, brother, sister, parent, child, love we praise all things above, gentle, peaceful, calm and mild. Lord of all, to thee we raise this our hymn of grateful praise.
Thank you, guys. You sound great this morning. Welcome to Unity of Kanawha Valley. As I said, our virtual Zoom service. We're so happy you're here with us this morning. My name is Peggy, and I'm normally the, I guess you call me the hostess there at the church. And I do double duty with Janet Prince. We kind of alternate on the weekends, so it's her weekend off, and I'm here with you and happy to be here. So this morning, our announcements are today or this week has been Unity of Kanawha Valley's 30, I'm not sure how many, 30 years, something like 30 years birthday. I should know that, shouldn't I? But Pam knows it, and I'm sure she'll correct me soon. Anyway, we're so happy and thankful and grateful to those who started this wonderful church so many years ago that we love so much and keep going even through these challenging times. We're happy that you're here with us, and we hope you continue to support Unity of Kanawha Valley, so we'll be here for many years to come. Thank you. 33 years, Barbie says. That's wonderful. Thank you, Barbie. Appreciate that. And also, I'm told that today or this week is also the anniversary of Simpson Memorial Methodist Church. So we want to wish those fine people a happy anniversary and many more years of success in their church. Other than that, the announcements I have today are the Daily Word group meets daily at 5:30, except on Sundays, right here on the same Zoom channel. So check that out if you haven't already. That's a lively, wonderful discussion group. Also, Sojourners is still taking donations, and Danny suggests that we, if you'd like to donate to help Sojourners, I'm sure they can use coffee, tea, hot chocolate for the kids, any kind of drinks. So we'll make that our mission this week if you're interested. And we're also collecting luggage and bags for the Davis Children's Shelter for those children as they transition from the home there at the Davis Children's Shelter into foster homes or even adoption. We're praying for them too. So that's all the announcement I have. Today we have our wonderful Ryan Kurczak returning to speak with us. Ryan is a successful Kriya Yoga meditation teacher. And if you'd like to learn more about his work, go to Ryan Kurczak. Just Google Ryan Kurczak, K-U-R-S-Z-A-K, I believe, K-U-R-C-Z-A-K on Google. So he is wonderful, as you'll see shortly, and he's going to do our meditation for us now. So thank you, Ryan.
Thanks for having me. It's good to be back. Let's go ahead and meditate together. So if you would, giving your attention to your body, sitting up straight and closing your eyes. Feel the breath as it moves through the body. Feel the rise and fall of the belly and the chest. And let your awareness and your attention flow down to your feet. As you breathe, you feel your awareness within your feet. Bring your attention up to the shins, the knees. Into the upper legs, hips and belly, chest, feeling the entire body. And bring your awareness down your arms, your elbows, your hands, up into your neck and your head. Again, keeping your breath as the anchor. Now as you breathe and feel the body, you want to observe it without judgment. So the body is a collection of aches and pains and feeling good and neutral places. So you just want to hold your awareness on the entirety of your body, letting it be however it is at this moment. And this is a wonderful way to go into meditation because bringing in all of this body awareness helps to reset the nervous system so that you can turn your awareness more fully within. So flow your awareness from your body now to your heart. Feel that space within your chest. Feel the breath as it moves through the heart. And imagine your heart open and free in the infinite. Open and free and the divine as the divine is real to you. And we'll spend a minute or two feeling the heart, feeling the breath, hearing the word peace on the inhale in the heart, and the word peace on the exhale in the heart. So let's sit with this mantra, with this affirmation of peace for 2 minutes together, resting awareness on the heart. And as you feel the heart and as you breathe, that word peace, don't just repeat it. Remember a time, or maybe you feel it now, when you were at peace, because the body responds to how the heart feels. So if you can remember a time of peace and let that resonate within your heart with each breath, the body will actually respond as if it is in a state of peace. And eventually it will become comfortable there. And now lift your awareness up to the space between the eyebrows, the forehead. Bringing your awareness to your mind. Feel that space between your eyebrows. Usually people hold a lot of tension there, and so when they're meditating, they look like they're really digging in and scowling. So in order to counteract that, gently lift your eyebrows. Remember a time when you were amazed at something, how your eyebrows just gently raised. So by raising your eyebrows, you spread the forehead and release any tension there. You bring more awareness and blood flow to the frontal regions of the brain, which helps with optimism, clarity, and also peace of mind. So here, in the forehead between the eyebrows, relaxed. On the inhale, mentally hear or say the word peace and feel as though your mind is filled with peace. On the exhale, mentally say the word peace and feel that the mind is filled with peace. What would that feel like if you were in the most pristine, peaceful situation? How light and almost cool your mind and brain would feel. So just feel that openness. Peace on the inhale, peace on the exhale. And imagine your mind free in the infinite, free and safe, or free And the divine is real to you. Peace on the inhale, peace on the exhale. We'll continue with this affirmation, this mantra, for another 60 seconds or so. You now feel your whole body, from your heart and your mind outward into your breath to the whole body, feeling yourself open and free in the infinite, open and free in the divine as it is real to you. Part of the wholeness of life. And imagine all the people around you, or the people that are on this call or watching this video, and their families and their friends and their families and their friends. And if you keep going, you'll have the whole world in your mind's eye, radiant with light, established in peacefulness to the extent that they are receptive, in tune with the wholeness of life, in tune with the evolutionary spirit of life, for good and well-being, for goodness and well-being. When you're ready, take a gentle, deep breath in. Exhale, relax, and you can open your eyes to conclude the meditation.
Jamie, you need to unmute.
Sorry about that. The word for Sunday, October 25th, 2020 is listen. In the quiet of my heart, I listen for the voice of spirit. During the course of a busy day, I may hear all kinds of things: conversations, music, sounds from nature, traffic noise, and even my constant self-talk. Sometimes all that I'm hearing may numb me to the more intentional act of listening. As I listen, I become aware of the voice of spirit. Its comforting, guiding presence feels like a homecoming. As I settle into a tranquil environment and begin to relax my body and my mind, I create a welcoming space for listening to the assuring voice of spirit, discernible as my inner knowing. I breathe deeply and I rest in this space. I go about my day listening attentively for the voice of spirit expressing through all the people in my life. The scripture for today is from Luke 11:28. Blessed rather are those who hear the word of God and obey it.
I'll fly away.
I had this blocking the thing where it came up and said, do you want to unmute?
Some bright morning when this life is over, I'll fly away to a home on God's celestial shore. I'll fly away. Oh, I'll fly away, oh glory, I'll fly away. When I die, hallelujah, by and by, I'll fly away. Now, oh, how glad and happy when we meet, I'll fly away. No more cold iron shackles on my feet, I'll fly away. Oh, I'll fly away, oh glory, I'll fly away. When I die, hallelujah, my
coming back to me, Rich?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you for that, Ron and band. Wow, I was singing along by myself. So much fun. Thank you for that. And now our guest speaker this morning, we'll hear more from Ryan Kurczak. He is a wonderful meditation teacher. We're honored to have him, and we are excited to hear what he has to say this morning. Please welcome Ryan Kurczak. Thank you, Ryan.
No problem. Thanks for having me again. So when you reached out and asked if I could speak today, Sky asked me what I thought might be a good title or topic for today. And what came to mind was how to actually change the world spiritually speaking. And Sky chose an appropriate quote for the announcement, actually the one that came to my mind too, which was from Gandhi. And that was the quote that you must be the change that you wish to see in the world. So before we get into all that and how you address that, I want to talk a little bit about what this world might be about. And we're going to pull from some Buddhist ideas, some yogic ideas, but also some Christian ideas. The first quote I want to read from is, it was written by Paramahansa Yogananda, who was my Kriya Yoga teacher's teacher. And this is from his book, The Divine Romance. He says, "You are walking on the earth as in a dream. You must realize that to find God is the only goal, the only purpose for which you are here. For God alone you exist, God you must find." I want to read that one more time. "You are walking on the earth as in a dream. You must realize that to find God is the only goal, the only purpose for which you are here. For God alone you exist, and God you must find." Now, Paramahansa Yogananda was a little more poetic and romantic than I am when it comes to the spiritual path. But he'd often said that the purpose of life was much different than what we think it is. Many of us think that we're here to have some children, grow up, have a job, have relationships, get a little bit of pleasure here, and then you die. And that's how most people live their lives. But from a spiritual perspective, this world is sort of a school or a passing phase. In Buddhist and yogic thought, it's often said that the world is not real. You might have heard that before if you studied much yoga. And Jesus even said that my kingdom is not of this world. And it's easy to latch onto those ideas and think that we shouldn't take the world seriously or give us some kind of excuse to not be responsible in the world. But whether the world is real or not, we still have to deal with it. But we can always return back to what Paramahansa Yogananda said, which is that the purpose of life is much different than what we think it is. And he was talking about how we are here to realize what we are as spirit. And so when we say the world is not real, it doesn't mean it's not important. It doesn't mean that it doesn't have a purpose, but it is not the thing that we're supposed to glorify or the thing that we're supposed to pay that much attention to or think that that's what's going to give us complete fulfillment. And when Jesus said that his kingdom is not of this world, he was essentially saying the same thing, that if you're wanting to explore the higher expression of yourself as spirit, you have to recommend, or you have to realize that this is kind of a passing phase, but more so it's like a school. And so in this school, if you think back through life and you think back through history, I don't think you're ever going to find or see a time that was permanently peaceful, that was without stress or without death or change or challenges. You're not going to find it. And if life was meant to be that way, well, then we wouldn't really need this whole spiritual work. Because if everything was perfect and everything was good, well, why would you want to explore these other realities? Why would you want to be pulled somewhere higher? So we have to see that in this world, we are not here necessarily to make the world perfect, but ultimately what we're here to do is to do our best to demonstrate our unconditional capacity for love. As I was thinking about this talk, and I was thinking how I might have bit off a little more than I could chew with the topic. What came to my mind was the idea of birth and death. And way before modern medicine treated birth the way it does now, when women went through labor, it wasn't really that easy, I don't imagine. I'm sure there was a lot of pain, a lot of difficulty, but there were helpers along the way, midwives, doulas, doctors that would help the mother go through the birthing process and then have the child. The same thing is true if you've ever been with someone who's dying. You're there and you know what the end result is, but you are there to help them as much as you can to go through that process. And in this world, our role, aside from realizing or trying to figure out what God is and abide there and exist there, is to be like those people who are the support in the birth process or the support in the death process. And so as you learn to meditate, you pull within and you quit taking so seriously all this stuff that bothers you. And it doesn't have to be meditation. It can be prayer or any kind of spiritual practice that helps kind of pull you away from the world to interiorize your awareness. And the better you get at it, you're able to actually experience those points of stillness and clarity, the sort of eternal sense of you. And then when you come out in the world, your job is not to say, well, geez, this is terrible. Now my cats are fighting, or I've got to go to work, and you get all messed up again. That doesn't do it. What you have to do is bring that peace or bring that awareness into every experience, because the cats are going to be fighting. The politicians are going to be saying stupid stuff all day long. People are going to be born, they're going to be dying, difficulties are going to be coming, joys are going to be coming. But by learning to abide in that state of clarity, essentially what you're doing is holding a space of love. And I know I've said this many times because I pretty much work it into every talk I do in unity settings or at yoga studios. I was once told that the word compassion, I think I was told it originates from another language, and that word in the other language that compassion comes from means to be womb-like, to hold something like in a womb where something can grow, where something can be nourished. And so as you go through this world, you practice your meditation, you practice your prayer to find that inner peace and that inner strength. And sometimes it's not easy, but you do it every day. And then when you go into every daily experience, you work at bringing that space of compassion, to be womb-like, to be present. Now, that doesn't mean that if circumstances get difficult, it doesn't stop you from acting. It doesn't mean that if you have to defend yourself or if you see some nonsense going on, you don't call it out. But it means that when you're interacting with the world, you try to hold that state of compassion, even with the people that you don't like, even with the people that you don't agree with. Because oddly enough, if you think about it, no matter which side of an argument you're on, the person on the other side of the argument thinks they're just as right and just as sane as you do. And oftentimes we have to remember that pretty much everyone in the world has experienced some form of trauma or difficulty, which makes them act and behave the way they do. And it's not your job to change them. It's not your job to make them perfect, but it is your job, as you can, to hold that state of compassion, to be womb-like, to be there for them, not to tell them what to do, but to just hold space for them. So in order to be the change you wish to be, or you have to be the change that you want to see within the world. So if you want to see peace, and if you want to see understanding and love and people working together, you have to do your best in an imperfect world to just try to do that. You're not likely going to succeed very often, but every now and then you will. And it's the trying that makes all of the difference. And this is how we demonstrate the capacity for unconditional love. And as we go through our lives, what happens is the world drama is going to keep happening. People are going to argue, people are going to love each other, wars are going to be fought, there'll be times of peace, but it's going to keep recycling. It just keeps happening over and over again. But you, by every chance you get, learning to demonstrate that ability for calm and being responsible and being kind to others as best you can be, because again, sometimes you have to defend yourself, but being kind to others, holding compassion for others, well, then you are engaging the purpose of this life, because as you get better at that, it becomes your natural state. And you are just naturally compassionate. You are naturally kind. You are naturally patient. You're not trying to be patient. You're not thinking, well, gee, I was really great. I was being patient. The most patient people in the world aren't trying to be patient. You think they are because that's how you function, but they're just the way they are. And as the years go by, you actually move into and fully embody a state of peacefulness and clarity, which means from the time you were born until the time that you pass, until you get there, well, you've had a time to, in a sense, recreate how we'll just say your spirit resonates. And your spirit came into this world in particular because your spirit resonated with the narcissism, the aggression, the need for power of some sort. And so you were brought here. And that's why you experience this and you see it everywhere. But the reason spiritual traditions are so hard to really truly follow is because they're requiring you to become something radically different than what you experience around you. But by doing that, as the years go by, when it's time for you to pass or transition, well, if we use the theory of reincarnation or the theory of moving on, well, maybe you're going to go to heaven, as the Christians would say. Or maybe you're going to experience nirvana, as Buddhists, or enlightenment, as yogis would say. But either way, in order to experience a state of heaven or a state of nirvana or a state of enlightenment or peace, you have to resonate with that so that you can exist there. Just like when it comes to being successful in the world, if you want to hang out with extremely successful people in a particular profession, you have to get that successful so you fit in. So we have to do this, and this is our spiritual work, which in time will change the world, because the more people who are able to hold that state of compassion and non-attachment and unconditional love, well, what's going to happen? Well, you're going to have young children coming up being raised by these people, and they're going to see the rest of the culture and how it's run by narcissists and people who just want to experience power or want to act like there's something better than they are. They're going to see through that hypocrisy. And the next generation is going to say, yeah, I really would like to experience a greater sense of working together, of peacefulness. They're going to see beyond different viewpoints, and they're going to recognize that we all kind of see things differently, and they're going to try to work together. And so the more of us that can do that and hold that space, even if it's just one of you in an entire family, there will be some other folks in the family that are going to catch on to that, and they're going to start to resonate with it. And then that will spread out. And I can tell you in my own experience, being around people of all different types and seeing how, as I personally grew and changed, and remained as strong as I could in a state of patience or peacefulness, others around me also they saw it was possible for them too, and they began to do that. In the Yoga Sutras, there's a line that talks about harmlessness, being harmlessness. And it says that in the presence of someone who is utterly harmless, all aggression ceases. And if you think about that, imagine being around someone who is peaceful and you're upset and angry. Don't you tend to lose a little bit of that? So the more we are able to do that, even if it's only a fraction of what's possible, that contributes to changing the world. Of course, that takes time. Now, one of the last points I want to get at in today's discussion deals again with the state of the world and sort of the craziness that we all see. And don't worry, Republicans think the Democrats are just as crazy as they are, so it goes both ways. But the state of consciousness of the world seems crazy. And what we have to remember is there's a process that goes on as consciousness clears itself. And this happens in your meditation as well. So I want to tie this into a personal level. When people begin a spiritual path, or they begin a real serious, the real serious work of meditating or praying or doing something to improve themselves internally, that's a real shift of gears or a change of direction from where they've been. And so there's often a lot of momentum that they have to get through. So when someone starts meditating, the first week or two, maybe they feel extremely peaceful. Or maybe when they take a contemplative prayer course and they begin practicing contemplative prayer, they feel a connection to the wholeness of life, a connection to wholeness in the divine. But then after that first or second week, they start to get a little cranky, or their thoughts get even more intense, or their emotions get even more intense. And they start saying, well, this isn't working because obviously I'm not more peaceful. I'm getting more agitated. But what happens in that process is when you start to grow, well, you're growing, which takes more energy, which takes more stress, which takes, in a sense, more discipline and willpower to be successful. And so more thoughts will arise. These are thoughts that you have going on that might not be useful for you anymore. Or emotions might arise that are due to memories of things that you experienced in the past that you've never dealt with. And if you stay true to the meditation and contemplative process, which is helping you remain conscious and aware, well, then if you can stay with it and just let it pass through you, eventually it does pass through you. And then you experience greater clarity. It's like you're cleaning up the basement. It takes a while. It seems like there's a lot of junk down there, but once you do a little bit, you start to see progress. And then you move a few boxes and you see, wow, there's 20 more boxes back there. But you keep going. And eventually it's cleared out. But think about before you decided to go clean out that basement. You had no idea what was down there. It didn't bother you at all. You weren't concerned about it. No problems whatsoever. So it's in the act of seeing that you need to change that often stress occurs. So the same thing is happening in our, well, this is my theory. I can't say it's 100% true, but this is what I think is going on. The same is true in our world. Over the last 100 years, and even less, the changes that we've experienced, positive changes in medicine, in the rights of individuals all over the world, in the rise of technology, things have gotten much, much better on various levels. And so we can see, in a sense, consciousness getting better, getting clear, rising. I mean, the children today are 20 times smarter than we were when we were kids. And that just keeps going. It just keeps happening because consciousness is getting clear, getting smarter in a way. But as that process goes, it's like we have to look into the basement, which means we're going to see more craziness coming out in the world. We're going to see things that we think, how on earth is that person in charge of what's going on here? Their morals are out the window. They're in it for themselves. You see that and it baffles you. But the fact that you can see it, the fact that you can appreciate it, again, is going to mean that the generations coming up are going to see through the BS and are going to see through that less than helpful way of being. And they're going to decide that this isn't right. This isn't going to go the way it is. I mean, this is the unity of Kanawha Valley, which means we're in West Virginia. And I was raised in West Virginia. And I can remember being a kid in West Virginia in high school, and the things we thought about were nothing at all like what the kids are thinking about today. I could have cared less about the environment. All I wanted to do was party and have a good time and go play Dungeons and Dragons on the weekend. Now, I still want to play Dungeons and Dragons on the weekend, but the partying bit, I can take it or I can leave it. But kids these days, they're thinking about the environment. They're thinking about leadership. They're thinking about where the world's going. They're thinking about getting involved in helping to resolve traumas within the world. They're thinking about these things. And that's all because consciousness is raising in a way. And all the stuff, all the negative stuff, it's a good thing that we can see it because our awareness needs to see it. So we can decide for ourselves, how do we want to respond to that? And I want to encourage you not to respond in the same way that is of the same state of consciousness, not to demonize it, not to say that's terrible. When I look at the world today and I see what's going on in politics and I see how people are acting, I don't like it, but I also realize that they're doing the best that they can. And I try to hold a state of, as best I can, compassion and be as calm about it and non-reactive about it as possible, because there's only so much I can do. And I do those things, and then I give the rest up to whatever the evolutionary spirit of life wants to do with it. So the point I wanted to get at today is simply that you have to do your own work. You have to practice meditation. You have to practice prayer. You have to learn to bring that within the world. And you have to realize this is a slow process, but consciousness is getting clearer. And all the stuff that causes us anxiety, all the stuff that causes us to want to be reactionary and lash out. That is just a opportunity for you to realize where you need to work harder on going within, recognizing what is true for you, figuring out what can you do, and then through the process of surrender or just releasing it, give the results up, because you're not in charge of the results, and you'll make yourself crazy if you think you are. And realize that as you go through this world, that you are like, every now and then, like someone helping a mother through birth, or helping someone dying, because we're all dying, so we're all helping each other get through this life. But by you holding that state of compassion and just being there, not trying to fix anything, not trying to make other people perfect, but just trying to hold that space of love and acceptance, you will find that that opens up a place for change. And those who are receptive to it will respond to it. And that's the important point. You don't think you're going to pick who is going to change because of your own clarity and your own peace and your own commitment to this. You don't know, but you have to hold it, and you have to be there for whoever and see what happens. And you might find that the world around you does change a little bit. And if it changes for you a little bit, it's going to change for someone else a little bit. And incrementally, those millimeters of change add up. And 50 to 100 years from now, hopefully, if we don't go up in a ball of fire, we should be in a much clearer, more peaceful society. And that is the ideal. So this is something to consider when you're thinking about how to spiritually change the world. Recognize the world will always be in strife. It will always have ups and downs, but we're here to make it through and to evolve or embody such a state of compassion, peace, and love that when we're done, well, we'll be all right. And we will then experience or be drawn to whatever realm, however you want to look at it, that reflects that. But everything that we experience in this life, in this time, is an opportunity for us to see just where are we in this experience. So take your meditation practice, your prayer practice seriously. Do it every day and just live the best life you can in a surrendered fashion, remembering that you are not in charge. You can only do the best that you can do, and then let nature or the infinite or the divine take its course. And that will conclude today's talk.
Namaste. Thank you, Ryan. Boy, that was helpful. So inspirational, and we really appreciate your energy and your being here with us today. And now, if you'll speak with me our offering blessing, don't forget that your gifts help us support Unity Kanawha Valley through this time that we can't be together. We want to keep our church there so that we can have a place of worship when we do get back together, and that will be hopefully very soon. So let's say our offering blessing together. Mother, Father, God, thank you so much for these gifts and offerings that we know are forthcoming. We honor the gifts that each of us have within our hearts, and we are happy to support this church. So we give freely of our hearts, and we give selfishly to help others. Thank you for this blessing. Amen. And now we'll hear from our band again. Thank you.
Your love has lifted me, keeps right on lifting me higher, higher and higher. Your love keeps lifting me, keeps right on lifting me higher, higher and higher. Your love keeps lifting me high, and I've never been
lifted before. Lift me up, quench my desire. I'll be at your side forevermore. Your love is lifted me, keeps right on lifting me higher, higher and higher. Your love is lifted me, keeps right on lifting me higher, higher and higher. I was sad and downhearted. Disappointment was my closest friend. You came and soon parted. I'm never gonna feel that way again. Your love has lifted me, is right on lifting me higher, higher and higher. Your love has lifted me, is right on lifting me higher, higher and higher. Come on, Ryan. Come on, Jim. Straight all the way around. Go ahead, Ryan. Everybody went back. Love has lifted me, keeps right on lifting me higher, higher and higher. Your love has lifted me, keeps right on lifting me higher, higher and higher. Your love has lifted me, keeps right on lifting me higher, higher and higher. Your love has lifted me, keeps right on lifting me higher, higher and higher.
Woo! Our band still got it, don't they? Okay, now if you'll repeat with me our offering blessing. I messed that up the first time, but we'll get it right now. Divine love moving in and through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I give in love, I trust God, and I am grateful. Amen. And now we'll have our closing song. I know we have birthdays. Ron Soul has a birthday. I'm not sure it's today, but I've heard it was within the last few days, maybe. So happy birthday to Ron. We have anniversaries for our church and Simpson Memorial Methodist. So happy birthday to them. Any other birthdays? Okay, Rich.
Jan Flannery.
Jan Flannery, right. Thank you. Happy birthday to Jan. We haven't seen you, but we miss you and we love you and we hope you have a wonderful birthday. So let's do happy birthday. Ron's birthday is today. Happy birthday, Ron. Take it away, Frank. Yay! Now for the peace song.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
Now together our prayer for protection. The
Light of God surrounds us, the love of God enfolds us, the power of God protects us, and the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.
Great service. Thank you.
Great job, Peggy.
Thank you.
Everybody can unmute now if they'd like. And Peggy, I've got to apologize to you. I forgot to mute all, and
That's okay.
your opening statement was being stepped on by other sounds in the amongst the audience. So I did the mute all, and then of course that muted you. So
Oh, well, it's all good. We'll get it together before it's over with, maybe.
It
One
was
of the-
great. Thanks,
It was-
Ryan.
Yeah, Ryan, that was really good.
It was-
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ryan.
And Ron, you all did wonderful too. And Elisha was there. So good.
See?
The music was good. The music
you.
was good. Good.
Really. Almost just like being there.
You're right, Peggy. We'll have it all down and perfect about the time it's time to go back and be together. Yeah.
I know.
Let's hope it doesn't
Perfect
take
as
that
it is.
Hi, Robert.
Hey, Ernie.
Hey.
Great service. Great music.
Right.
I was inspired by the music and the message today and those there in unity. Good to be here today.
Thank you,
Thank
Connie.
you, Connie.
Thank you.
Hi, Chan. Are you in New York? Can you hear us?
I'm unmuted. Yes, I am still in New York. Yeah, I was scheduled to do a trip and canceled out because of everything. Just not feeling right about it. But I talk to you very soon, Ernie, I hope.
Okay, sounds great. Glad you're here.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
I'm going to go check on my puppy. Y'all have a great day.
Okay. You all too. Thanks.
We'll be
thinking
thank you
about
for-
puppy, Peggy.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for my birthday wishes.
Yeah. Have a great day, Ron.
birthday.
Yeah. Thank you.
Great, Ron.
Thank you.
Okay,
Bye-bye.
bye-bye,
Bye.
everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye, Phyllis.
Bye.
Phyllis.
Hi, Phyllis.
Nice to see
Bye,
everybody.
Loree.
The service was beautiful.
Bye, Loree.
Bye, Loree. Thanks, Rich.
Bye, everyone.